Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to your Chelsea news. We're going over Enzo Maresca's post-match press conference over our narrow victory at Lincoln last night. We also get updates regarding Marc, Guiu and Josh Acheampong and how they may feature in future Chelsea games. And Chelsea may be securing a front shirt sponsor quicker than we think. Now, of course, I'll be giving my own thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. You can also use the hype button, which is a new YouTube feature which helps pushes these videos out to a bigger audience. Kicking things off, Bobby Vincent had reported what Enzo Maresca said on last night's win. He said, "We knew what to expect. Long throws, free kicks. I spoke to them to find out how many of them played this kind of games. The desire is double from them, from duels and these kinds of things. Second half, we were much better and we won the game." He continues to talk about the half-time team talk. He says, absolutely he was angry. We prepared the game thinking exactly the way the first half was. Sometimes it's about desire, but it's about experience. Jamie Gittins has never played in these kinds of games. Jorl the same. It's more about desire and we struggled in the first half. If the next game in the Carabao is against League 1 or 2 team away, for sure tonight's experience will be good. No, I partly agree with Enzo Maresca there. I do agree that it is about desire and we showed a lack of it yesterday. The one concerning thing with Chelsea right now is we are conceding goals based on our own mistakes. I think it's very obvious, very clear, and it's been a number of games back to back now where we can't seem to get out of this slump of causing our own demise. And last night was a prime example. The one thing I found fascinating is Lincoln literally said their game plan hours before the game kicked off. Long throws, set pieces, corners. They just want to bombard Chelsea because they can clearly see that we're struggling in the air. The first goal that Lincoln scored, or the only goal that Lincoln scored, came from a mistake from Enzo and Chalobah, of a miscommunication, a shorter pass. No one really reacted, but it was in the air, and Lincoln capitalised. Now, of course, when you play the League 1 teams, the League 2 teams, even the Championship teams, they are a lot more physical. They are going to play the dirty tactics. That's the kind of football that is played in those divisions, and I have nothing against that. If anything, I respect it. The Premier League is so vastly different in terms of how the game is played from these leagues. I've got, honestly, credit to Lincoln. They were absolutely fantastic, and they brought the game to us. And, mate, they could have scored 2, 3, 4 more, how poor we were defending. Now, I disagree with Enzo Maresca to say that we played better in the second half as a whole. We had about 7 or 8 minutes where we were fantastic and we looked like a Premier League team. And that's when we switched the game around from being 1-0 down to being 2-1 up. But as soon as we had to defend again, we looked abysmal and something needs to change. Something massively needs to change. I agree that Gittins and Jorl haven't played games like this. But to me, that's not an excuse. All right, Gittins is young. He's new to the country and the league. Fair enough. But it's still not an excuse. Jorl's young, he's new to the country, new to the league. Still not an excuse. We had the likes of Fofana, a £70 million signing on. Gusto, an international. We had a mixture of international players on that pitch last night. And the lineup that we laid out should be more than good enough to get it over the line against Lincoln because they're all Premier League players. There were so many first stringers out last night. It should have not gone the way that it did. Now, look, I don't want to kick us when we're down. We ultimately got the victory. We go through to the next round. But to say that we played better in the second half, I don't know. The one thing I will say is I want to know what that halftime team talk was because we either took something or Enzo put a rocket up everyone. Because the way that we came out, like I said, for that 7 or 8 minute spell, we looked like a Premier League team. We turned the game around. And then, again, as soon as we had to defend, we fell apart. So I don't know whether this is a mental block. I don't know whether this is just a hurdle. I don't know if things need to be changed. Yes, there are a few players on there that haven't played together. There's a little bit less cohesion and chemistry building. But they're all Premier League level players. So this shouldn't have gone the way it did. But again, I don't want to dwell on the negatives. I also think it's valuable and also pretty correct that Enzo is saying that a lot of these players haven't played teams in League 1, in League 2, and it is very different. It is about desire. It was a huge game for Lincoln last night, and they came at us for large spells. They dominated us for big spells of the game. Even though we had the most possession, I've never seen a Chelsea game where we've had all this possession but felt not in control whatsoever. So I kind of agree and I disagree with certain things. Halftime team talk, I'm not surprised he was angry. And I tell you what, if he was in any of the watch-alongs last night, the fans weren't happy either. We were not happy and we thought, oh wow, we're going to get absolutely slapped by Lincoln, or this is at worst going to go to penalties and we're going to lose on penalties. Now, thankfully, we did get over the line. Like I said, we do go through to the next round. And I do think it will be valuable if we do play another team in the League 1, in the League 2, in the Championship, where it is a lot more physical, it is a bit more getting stuck in and, playing the longer throws and stuff. At the same time, Enzo Maresca does need to adapt because Premier League teams were also doing the long throws. They're also loading people up. They know that we're weak defensively, especially in the air. And we're going to talk about Jorgensen, we're going to talk about Acheampong, we're going to talk about Marc Guiu because a lot more information has come out about those guys. And I just want to comment on Jorgensen and what Enzo Maresca has said as well. But I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions on the halftime team talk. What do you think was said by Enzo Maresca? Do you agree with what he's saying? Is it an excuse that the likes of Gittins and Jorrell and Gusto and all these players haven't played against the League One or League Two side? Or is it just inexcusable? For me, it's inexcusable. These players are very, very good. Yes, it was a shock to the system in terms of how they play, but they are good enough, skilled enough, and even if they've got a lack of chemistry to get this game over the line. Ultimately, we did, but we had to bring on experience. Had the likes of Neto and Cucurella coming on to really shore things up, experienced heads in the team. But we really made a meal of it. So positive that we went through, but that performance is so dire. It was so dire. But I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Bobby Vincent then reported what Enzo Maresca said on Buonanotte's display, and he said, Buonanotte was very good. We all struggled in the first half, and in the second half, we were better. We changed Jorrell's position. We were lucky we scored immediately in the second half. He then continues to talk about Jorgensen's performance. He says, I don't know how many balls they put into the box tonight. It was not easy for any keeper, to be honest. I think overall, even when we concede against Brentford from a throw-in extra time, it's not easy because they try to crowd the keeper. It's difficult. It's Philip's first game of the season, so it's not easy. Now, there's two sides of this. I'm going to split this into two. In terms of Buonanotte, I thought he was fantastic last night. I really like what we're seeing from him. In the first game, when we played the 45 minutes, Enzo Maresca said, he was pretty good, but he needs to get a bit more physical. And I think that's 100% spot on. I really like the technicality of this player, the link up of what he's doing, driving the ball forward. I think he's a very good option for us to have this season. And we've got him on loan. And I really hope that Chelsea, if he continues to do this across the season, I really do hope Chelsea pursue this on a permanent basis because he looks like a very tidy player. He really does look good. And I think last night, even though you've got the circumstances of playing a lower league team, you don't have VAR. They are a lot more physical. They are chucking themselves in. I thought that he did fantastically well. Obviously, he gets himself a goal. Love that. Little twinkle toes, bit of luck with the defending, but good finish as well to put us 2-1 up. His first goal in Chelsea blue, and his celebration seemed to mean a lot to him. So I think he did very well last night. He's a player, if I'm being honest, I didn't really know what to expect from him. The first half that he played in the other game, I was surprised by him. I thought he was very good. Again, I do agree the physicality is something he needs to work on, and that's not something you switch over one game or overnight. That's something you work on over a season. So I can see him playing more minutes. And he's one of those players that if I see him in the lineup, I'm like, okay, cool. I think he's more than good enough to do a job. And last night, I think, he really impressed me. When it comes to Jorgensen, the wildest thing was happening on the internet. And over the match review that I uploaded, if you haven't seen it, feel free to check it out. And me thinking about it and stewing on it last night, I actually agree with a lot of what everyone else has been saying online. I can't wait for Sanchez to go back in goal. And that is an absolutely wild statement to say, considering how bad he's been recently. Yes, he's had some good saves, like I said, in the Bayern game. We know we conceded, but he did play very well. But the previous game against United, the silly mistakes and the bozo moments this guy has, we want him back in goal. And I'm thankful it's only a one-game ban, so he's back for the Brighton game. Because honestly, the display that Jorgensen put out, is this guy a professional keeper? Like, what? It was mind-blowing. Couldn't catch a ball, couldn't command his box, didn't claim any crosses. He was just shocking. He made a couple of saves, but he made a meal of those as well, where they bounced off his body and had to reclaim it or whatnot. We know his distribution's decent, that's why we bought him. But honestly, very surprising how bad he was last night. And all of last season, the ironic thing, all of last season, a lot of fans were calling out for Jorgensen to be playing as number one. And I'm glad that he wasn't. Because there is a stark contrast between Sanchez and Jorgensen. And I don't just want to put down Sanchez. Like I said, I have backed him a lot. And I've basically, been giving him flowers to say when he's improved. And I've also been critical when he's not been good. And the other day I said, I'm done with him. I just think either of our keepers are just not good enough and we need to go and secure a new keeper in January. Go and get Mike. Just pay the money, get it done because we need to improve in that position. I know Chelsea want to make profit on their players. I understand the model that they're trying to build. I understand the team that they're trying to build for the future. But right now, if you get yourself a solid goalkeeper, they can save you points, which is more and better than making profit on a player in 2 years' time. In my opinion, especially if you want Chelsea to be continuously in Champions League and competing for trophies domestically, Europeanly, however you want to do it, you need a solid goalkeeper and a solid centre-back. You just need that. And like I said, after seeing Jorgensen's performance last night, I don't know why Enzo Maresca's making excuses for him. I know he's trying to protect the player. He obviously knows he didn't have a very good game. But they knew the game plan. They knew the game plan. Long throws, set pieces, just bombard the box. To say that, oh yes, it's difficult, they just crowd the keeper. Every team does that. In the Premier League, in the FA Cup, in the League Cup, Champions League, whatever. If there's an opportunity to make it difficult for the keeper, that's what they're going to do. But Jorgensen's too scared to come out and claim things. And we've seen that across 2 games now. The United game, for the second goal, just stuck to his line. Didn't do anything. Didn't even try and claim the ball that was coming down with snow on it. And last night, repeatedly, didn't claim crosses. Didn't come out when he was needed to. It was just baffling. I don't want to kick the man when he's down. We can all see he had a very bad game. But it kind of cemented a few things for me. It's just not good enough, in my opinion. And it's a stark contrast because Buonanotte, I think, was one of the better players on the pitch for a large spell of the time that he played. I understand it's Philip's first game of the season, and it's not easy. It's not easy. He's a professional footballer who's been training with you for over a season now. He should be ready for that game. He should be ready for the call-up. He's number 2. The number 2 is called upon. He should be ready. That's the whole point of a number 2. It's not to get complacent and think, I'm not going to play. It's Bobo, he's been sent off. I've got to go on. I've got to do my job. I've got to really perform now. Oh, he's banned for a game. I'm playing the full 90 here. I've really got to perform. This is my opportunity. And that's just not the Jorgensen we got. We just got a very shaky, nervous, anxious goalkeeper, which obviously gives us blood pressure problems when we're watching it because he can't even claim crosses. He's just not being commanding of his box. And he seems to be scared to do that. He just sticks to his line, doesn't move. And I don't know, it's baffling. I'm not a goalkeeping expert, but I just wanted to highlight what Enzo Maresca said about Jorgensen. Want to know what your thoughts and opinions are down below regarding Jorgensen and Sanchez. Are you actually, excited to see Sanchez back against Brighton this weekend? Do you feel like we desperately need a new goalkeeper? I think that the obvious answer to that is yes. Who would you get in? And what was your thoughts and opinions on Buonanotte's performance compared to Philip Jorgensen? Do you agree with what Enzo Maresca said about Jorgensen, about it being difficult and things like that? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Nizar Kinsella reported just before the Lincoln game last night that Chelsea striker Marc Guiu is eligible to play in the 3rd round of the EFL Cup against Lincoln City on Tuesday because of a change in the rules of this season's tournament. It appears Chelsea were unaware of the rule change but were informed by the EFL hours before Tuesday's kickoff after seeking clarification. I just want to touch on this lightly because a lot of Chelsea fans, myself included, keep asking the question, where's Marc Guiu? Why is he not getting a chance? Why is he not playing? Prime opportunity. Haven't got a 9. Record him from loan. Use him. Now, I actually feel for Chelsea as a club here a little bit because I feel like this would have been a perfect game for him to play as a 9. And I don't blame the club at all. From what the timeline is of communication, it looks like Chelsea were informed after basically double checking, can he play or not? We'd already travelled. So he wasn't involved in the squad, and you're going to play it safe. You're not going to get the guy to go all the way to Lincoln and then go, actually, you can't play. Waste of his time. So obviously we've left him and not travelled with him, and then they've gone, oh yeah, you can use him. We changed the rules. Where was this update? Why are you telling us hours before kickoff? Could have used him, Instead we played Tyreek George up front. Put in, square pegs and round holes, that type of thing. Now, yes, Tyreek George scored a banger, and I'm grateful for that, but he's not a 9, is he? Let's be real, he's just not a 9. He's just not a number 9. And Maresca keeps going with him. I know that we're struggling in that position, but we do have the likes of Marc Guiu, and I really want to see him start playing football for Chelsea because what's the point of bringing him back if we're not going to utilise him? In this specific instance, I do feel for the club and I feel for Maresca because I think this would have been a perfect game for him to go and showcase his abilities against a lower league team where he is also very physical and he likes to press high and he is a bit raw. And I think it would have been perfect for this type of game. I think we would have done well with him, if I'm being honest. He might have even got on the score sheet. You never know. But yeah, just to clarify that he is eligible. I even put my predicted 11 and I was like, I completely forgot that he wasn't eligible. And then this has come out last night that he is because of a rule change. I don't know what this rule change is. No one's broken it down, but it was communicated to Chelsea after seeking clarification just hours before kickoff, which would have just been too much to try and get him to travel down, prepare and be ready for the game. So that's why Marc Guiu wasn't at the game last night. But originally, we all thought that he was cup tied essentially because he played in the 2nd round for Sunderland while he was on his very short loan spell of 3 games, where he scored in, by the way. But yeah, they seem to have changed the rules. So I feel like Marc Guiu is going to have to get a lot of game time. I don't know whether he's going to play against Brighton, but we have to start seeing him at least coming off the bench because we've not seen him at all since we've recalled him. And there's been prime opportunities, in my opinion, to actually play this guy, and we haven't. So I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. I feel like In the next rounds, Guiu will start for sure. Now we know that he can play. Might even play the FA Cup early rounds as well. But I'd like to see him in the Premier League, and I'd love to know your thoughts down below regarding Marc Guiu. Should we be utilising him more, or is this just another player that Enzo Maresca is going to disregard and not utilise because he doesn't trust? I'm very curious to know your thoughts. I think he can really... This is a golden opportunity for him while Delap is injured. Nizar Kinsella has reported last night, just before the game, that Josh Acheampong is ill tonight, but is expected to play a significant centre-back minutes this season. Now, again, I wanted to touch on this because a lot of people are saying, where's Josh? Even myself, I was like, where's Josh? Josh should be playing this game. He's amazing. This is a perfect opportunity for him. He has a golden opportunity to come in at centre-back and prove and showcase to everyone that I'm young, I'm fearless, I'm talented, I should be playing in the starting 11. And I feel like he can take the weight on his shoulders. Now, I have also said previously in the season, before we had the Colwell stuff and throughout the summer transfer window, I want to see Josh excel and develop and play. We've not purposely signed him on a longer contract, gave him the extension and told him that there is no blocking of your pathway with the likes of Reece James, with the likes of Gusto. You are going to get minutes. It's very unfortunate. I do kind of feel for him that he's ill, so he just can't play. It's as simple as that. Because, again, it's a prime opportunity. With our defence being so shaky as it is, Tosin, Fofana and Chalobah being so anxious and nervous and not performing to their best and leaking mistakes, leaking goals between them. Not saying that the fullbacks are completely exempt, but they are the three main culprits, really, when you think about it. It's all coming centrally. It's all coming from aerial threats, and we're just not dealing with it unless you have a player like Cucurella in there who seems to marshal that back line. This is a perfect opportunity for Josh Acheampong to come in and showcase to everyone how it's done. He has made an appearance in the Premier League, and like I said, I thought he was a bit nervous, a bit shaky on the ball, but he did have a very good game, especially defensively. He did very well to keep Mateta quiet. It's a very, very underrated feat, in my opinion, for a young lad like that to come in and do that. So I definitely think he can come in and do a job at centre-back for us right now. He is ready. Play the guy. And if he's, as long as he's not ill, if he's fully fit, chuck him in against Brighton. See what he can do. Because I tell you what, right now, at this current moment, anyone could be better than the three centre-backs that we've got at the moment. Because between the three of them, they're just making so many mistakes. They're just, and again, we just seem to have this mental block. When the ball's in the air, we panic. And I don't think I've ever seen this at Chelsea. I really don't, especially in the back line. We've also always had a leader in the back that will just get up over everyone and just win that ball time and time again. It used to be Tosin over last season. Aerially, very decent. Always manages to win the ball, get the flick on, knock it down, whatever it may be. But this season, we've been an absolute joke, if we're being brutally honest. So obviously, I hope it improves, and I feel like it will. I feel like this is a blip, and I do feel like it's a mentality thing, and we have to get over this hurdle. But during this period, this sort of like, abysmal period defensively, for a player like Josh to come in and just own that position, it's a golden opportunity. So I wish him back to full fitness and health as soon as possible, because Josh, man, we need you playing centre-back. And it's very, very good that it's been reported that he's going to play significant centre-back minutes. So this could be the season for him. Last season, we saw him play in the Conference League and various games, and he looked so, so good where Enzo Maresca deployed him. But this could be the season where he cements that centre-back position and goes, right, and I'm young, it doesn't matter. I'm too good to be left out of the squad. And even if it's not a starting position over time, it's definitely a position where he will constantly play minutes over at right back, DM, or centre-back. This guy is fantastic. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below against Josh Acheampong. Do you feel like he should start against Brighton if he's fit? Would you give him a good run out of games considering how sort of dodgy our three centre-backs are currently? What would your plans be with Josh Acheampong this season? And Chelsea have reported that Chelsea Football Club is pleased to announce the appointments of Todd Klein as President of Commercial and Phil Lynch as Chief Digital Officer, who joined the business leadership team at Chelsea FC. This is massive. This is one of those sort of reports that if you don't seek it, you won't find it, which is why I'm kind of reacting to it to get your thoughts and opinions, because these two have been brought in off the back of that other guy who was sacked because he failed to get us a sponsor in the last couple of years, even though we've secured Champions League football and we're currently the world champions. In terms of commercialism, it can't get any better for us right now. The only way it could get better is if we won the Champions League and the Premier League, because in terms of eyeballs, and the fact that Chelsea are always under the microscope, the fact that we don't have a front of shirt sponsor is quite frankly embarrassing at this stage. I know that Chelsea want to go get 60 million a season and blah, blah, blah. They were waiting for the prime opportunity, but that is now. Should have been secured over the summer, in my opinion. It still can be secured. There's no sort of time limit or a cut-off for a front of shirt sponsor, of course, but you want to maximise the amount of games, the amount of eyeballs that the sponsor is going to play, because the longer the season goes on, the less money we can demand for this season. And then it goes on in a domino effect where, okay, this season we get 40 million because it's December. And then, that then gets put into, we get paid more in the next season because it's fall or whatever it may be. But these two coming in, Todd Klein and Phil Lynch, their main jobs, in my opinion, is don't even worry about saying hello and making yourself welcome at the office. Get on that phone, get on those emails and get on the plane if you need to, secure us a front shirt sponsor. It is such a massive revenue loss that we are currently not generating. And I know that we've done very, very well this summer in terms of player sales, Club World Cup earnings, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But come on, we're Chelsea. How have we not got a front shirt sponsor? It was easy, or it seemed to be easy, to get Damac for 7 games and make £8 million, which seemed like a very good deal. It's like £1 million a game, just over. Fantastic. But we want a long-term front shirt sponsor. This is something they've been trying to do for years. They've been very open about it. They're trying to wait for the right deal, and they want to make sure, we're commercially one of the highest earners in that sense of the front shirt sponsor. And that's why they've booted the other guy out, because he couldn't get it done, which baffles me, considering the situation and circumstance we are currently in, off the back of the Club World Cup win, where all the hype was at the highest. That should have been the easiest time to go and secure one. Go, right, who wants the sponsor? Who's willing to pay this? And whatever the inner workings of the negotiation is, obviously we won't know. It will only be whatever's released to the public. But Chelsea have been proactive. They got rid of that guy. They've got 2 more people in. One as commercial, president of commercial, and one as chief digital officer. So, big job for them. Come in, secure the sponsor. And I tell you what, the Chelsea fans will love you, especially if you get the right money for the board and what. Well, that's cool. But for a lot of the fans, we just want to sponsor. It's free money that we're missing out on. Now, I will, from an aesthetic point of view, I quite like our shirts without sponsoring. I think they look clean. And they stand out because we don't have a sponsor, right? At the same time, I kind of miss having one. I miss having a sponsor. It's just part of a football shirt, right? So, yeah, I think that if they go secure one, I think more than likely it's going to be someone like Riyadh Air. I think it'll be an airline that comes in and pays the money. They've got the money. And, we've been linked with them for so long. Unfortunately, it's not going to be an Air Jordan partnership because they didn't want to know us when we just missed out on Champions League football. And now we secured it. Them conversations aren't going to happen. Obviously, we've got the new kit for this season anyway. Be well past their sort of deadline for that. Maybe in the future. I don't know. But I think it'd be unbelievable if these guys can come in, hit the ground running and just get us a front shirt sponsor. Because, again, it's just extra revenue for the club. And it's just one of those things that's such a standard thing for a football club. Like even grassroots Sunday League, they all have sponsors because it helps them fund them run the club. And I get the importance of sponsors the lower you go because, again, it's money that's coming in. For a club like Chelsea, again, it's just money we're missing out on. So, anyway, I don't want to rant about this too much. I just want to bring this to your attention because it might be something that gets swept under the rug. I wanted to react to it and get your guys' thoughts and opinions on these 2 people, Todd Klein and Phil Lynch. I know nothing about them, and I'm not going to deep dive into what they do, but we know on the surface, president of commercial, chief digital officer, their job is to secure us a front of shirt sponsor. Who would you like to see on the front of our shirt? Do you think that these guys can get this over the line, or do you feel like the front of shirt sponsor is going to be an elusive thing that Chelsea just don't have for a long period for no reason whatsoever? Has it got a curse? I don't really know, but let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And that's the latest Chelsea news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one, and I mean that. You're a real one. But secondly, there'll be a thumbnail appears on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail because you'll enjoy that video too.